Here we go. Well, good evening and welcome to the J Street Regulars Radio Hour. Thank you for tuning in. Gentle people, so glad you're here. My name is James Zeller, your regular host here, but I'm super excited to have my good friend Jennifer Trowbridge joining me on guitar. We're going to have a lot of fun and play a bunch of tunes that have a lot of history, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But without further ado, we're going to get right to it and play a song I've been doing for a long time, and I enjoy the cuteness of it, including the cuteness of the lyric. It's called Exactly Like You. One, two. Well, I know why I waited, why I've been so blue, but I've been waiting here for someone exactly like you. Well, why should we spend money on a show or two? Nobody does those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so grand, I want to hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming, scheme I'm scheming. Now I know why Mom, she taught me to be true, but she meant me for someone exactly like you. And this is a part of the program where I briefly leave the scene to edit my name, because that's an intentional gaffe on my part. I swear, I just enjoyed Julio's show so much that I left it that way, to remind you all that on Thursday nights, every other Thursday, the wonderful Julio Perdido, who's a great songwriter and just a great person, does the show, and a great performer. So every other Thursday, if you'd like to see who Julio Perdido really is, because when you saw me, you're like, Julio's doing something quite different tonight. He's doing James's act. Actually, it was me the whole time. The name just said Julio Perdido. Well, that's a very old song that I learned from a recording by Louis Armstrong. And at this time, let's see. Well, we could do another Pops tune. We just have so many good tunes on the list, I'm not even sure what to do. But I think I would love to do Dream a Little Dream. So this song was recorded, I learned from a recording by Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald. And I was doing a little research on Ella Fitzgerald today, and I found it really fascinating. Ella Fitzgerald, I'll tell you a little bit about Ella Fitzgerald. She was born in 1917 in Virginia and grew up in New York City, or in and around New York City, and became an orphan when she was a young teen. And she had all kinds of crazy jobs, all kinds of crazy things she did to make money. She worked as a numbers runner
And if you don't know what the numbers were, they were a black market. That's not the word I'm looking for. Well, they were an illegal lottery, and she was just trying to make money, so she was running the numbers. The numbers were based on the last digits of the stock market. When the stock market would close, would have all these numbers, and way down the percentage points there would be these random numbers at the end, and they would run a lottery based on those. So she was doing that, and then she was working as a lookout for a madame. So basically, she was looking out for vice officers, the police, and finally, she had some success at the amateur night in Harlem. She was going to dance, and she'd been dancing on the street, and she was so scared, she decided to sing instead, and she just brought the house down. But because she was dressed so poorly and she was not attractive enough for the manager, they didn't give her a week at the Apollo, which is what they usually did. So she got kind of cheated. Then she got an audition with Benny Carter got her an audition with Fletcher Henderson's band, who also didn't hire her because he didn't like her looks. Finally, Chick Webb hired her, and the Chick Webb band decided she's so good they adopted her basically, and so she kind of grew up with them as a family. So that's a little bit about Ella Fitzgerald, and there's going to be a theme because you notice when you talk about these musicians that community ends up being an incredibly important thing, and a lot of times the musicians that really became really incredible performers work with really incredible communities around them. So without further ado, we're going to play a love song here. Hope you enjoy and remember our version of Dream a Little Dream. One, two, one, two.
worries behind you, but in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Oh, dream a little dream of me. Yes, dream a little dream of me. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I had the microphone backwards, so for all of you who are wondering why it sounded like we were so far away, it was because the microphone is directional, so it was only picking up the echo off the back wall. But you know, that's okay. So you may have missed my talking about Ella Fitzgerald there, and so Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald recorded that song, and I'm just going to say the whole bit again there, very briefly. Ella Fitzgerald had a really interesting history, grew up in pretty tough circumstances, growing up in and around New York, orphaned at a very young age, had rough occupations, and ended up having success because she was adopted kind of by the Chick Webb Orchestra. And it's kind of a beautiful thing how a community can come together and look out for kids, as often happened with a lot of young black musicians who were so influential to our American music. So it's Black History Month, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of some of these songs, because most of the songs that I play have a very long history with black performers. So that song was also recorded, of course, by Nat King Cole, and I think it's really fascinating. Nat King Cole grew up in Chicago in a neighborhood that had a lot of culture, and he was really influenced by Earl Hines, a great piano player. So there's a great quote from this book. Nat King Cole said later, "Our house was near the old Grand Terrace, and I spent many a night in the alley listening to Earl Hines for ideas." So he would sneak out of his house at night and go to the alley next to the Grand Terrace Ballroom, because he was too young to get in, and listen to Earl Hines playing the piano and try to pick out ideas. So that's a pretty special story there. Well, let's see. How about we go down a half step and do Georgia on My Mind. I'm going to play a song that has a long history with a lot of different performers. And from Billie Holiday to Ray Charles to Willie Nelson, had a great recording. And I always love it when a song can cross lines of genres that are pretty artificial things. So without further ado, we hope you enjoy, and remember our version of Georgia on My Mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind, on my mind. Oh, Georgia, Georgia, no peace will I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind, on my mind. And other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, but still In peaceful dreams I see all the road leads back to you. Oh, Georgia, oh, Georgia, no peace will I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, but still in peaceful dreams I see all the road leads back to you. Oh, Georgia, oh, Georgia, no peace will I find. Just that old sweet song keeps Georgia. That old sweet song keeps Georgia. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. All right. Thank you so much. Well, for those of you just joining us, this is Jennifer Trowbridge joining me on the J Street Regulars Radio Hour. I'm so glad you're all here. My name is James Zeller, and we're playing a bunch of old jazz classic tunes. And celebrating Black History Month a little bit here in our way, and we're kind of, as musicians that play jazz, we're kind of celebrating jazz and Black History Month every day of the year, all our lives. So, and I think we should probably be celebrating history all the time, right? But it's great that we have a month dedicated. And so I'd like to talk every so often a little bit about the musicians that played those tunes and some things that I find interesting about them. That song was a huge Ray Charles hit. And Ray Charles, of course, grew up in Georgia and learned piano from a very young age from a local piano teacher who was a man who owned a store, and he had a piano in his store. So Ray Charles would go there and play piano. And Ray Charles talked at a very young age about how, and in his autobiography, he talked about when he was young, they listened to all the different styles of music, and he didn't see any difference between the jazz and the blues and the country. Said they listened to Hank Williams, they just listened to everything. So, I mean, I think that's the real truth, is that a lot of those genres are pretty false constructs, as are a lot of things probably. But well, let's see. Oh, how about we play All of Me? We're gonna pick the tempo up here and play a classic song that I've been playing for many years, and I owe many dollars in royalties from busking that I will never pay on All of Me. One. One, two, 1, 2. can't you see I'm no good without you? So take these arms, I wanna lose them, and take these lips, cause I just abuse them. I'm playing this for now your goodbye, left me with eyes that cry. Oh, how can I go on, dear, without you? Cause you took the best, so baby, come on and take the rest. Why not take all of me? Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. Oh, how can I go on, dear, without you? Cause you took the best, so baby, come on and take the rest. Why not take all? Why not take all? Why not take all the... All right, thank you so much. Having a lot of fun here. Hope you're enjoying the music, folks. My name is James Zeller. This is Jennifer Trowbridge. So glad to have Jennifer on the show. And let's see. How about I have a short list of tunes here. I feel I seem to be disappearing from the bandstand when I go to the piano. There we go. That's better. Well, how about we play I Like to Dream Small? We're going to play an original tune of mine right now. I hope you enjoy a song I wrote called I Like to Dream Small, and it's going to be a lot of fun for me to play it with Jennifer here. I usually play it by myself. That's smaller than I like to dream. I'd rather dream at least one other musician. Stars stars would dream them away, and the fanciest thing we'll own is your smile. Darling, that could never go out of style. I love you, you'll love me forever, that's all. I like to dream small. A little cottage in the woods by the sea. Oh, when we yearn to travel, we'll take a trip up the coast for a day. I know there's always troubles, but under the stars we'll dream them away, and the fanciest thing that we'll own is your smile. And darling, that could never go out of style. I love you, you'll love me forever, that's all. I like to dream small. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I like to dream small. Wow, thank you so much. It's so fun to get to play that tune with another musician. It's been quite a while. Well, I hope you're enjoying the music, folks. Oh, you know what we have on the list here? If I Had You. We're going to play a request right now that I missed last time we were on the show. So, Anna Thaler, this goes out to you. I hope you're listening right now. And if you're not, we're going to play it again some other time, because I really love this tune. I don't play it nearly enough. It's a great song that I learned from another recording by Nat King Cole. And it's called Exactly Like You.
Oh, this one's called Exactly Like
Oh, I'm sorry. It is not called Exactly Like You. It's called If I Had You. I hope everyone can hear now. It's much better. Okay, great. At least you can hear me say what song I'm playing. That's a step in the right direction. I had the mic turned around backwards at the beginning. Something else there. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2. I could show the world how to smile. I could be glad all of the while. And I could change the gray skies to blue if I had you, if I had you. And I could leave the old days behind, leave all my pals, I'd never mind. No, there is nothing I couldn't do if I had you. And I could cross the burning deserts, I could sail the mighty ocean wide, I could climb the snow-capped mountains. Oh baby, if I had you by my side, I could be a king, dear, uncrowned, humble or poor, rich or renowned. No, there is nothing I couldn't do if I had you, if I had you. Thank you so much. I'm just having so much fun. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I want to say a really big thank you to everyone who's decided to spend some time with us this evening. We know there's lots of other ways you could be spending your time on other YouTube channels or Facebook pages. God forbid listening to other bands do live streams, and it just makes us feel great that you're you're here listening to us and that you decided to give us some of your time. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Right now we're going to play a tune. Oh, you know what? This is the part of the program where I leave the bandstand very briefly to grab this very interesting thing that I wrote down earlier. I left on the other side of the room. So let's do Summertime. So this song, Summertime, is from the 1935, Wikipedia calls it an opera by George Gershwin. I always called it a musical, but it was pretty controversial even right away when it came out. In 1935, Virgil Thompson, who was a white American, very famous composer, wrote, and okay, a little background information. Summertime featured an all-black cast who were all classically trained opera singers. They were amazing. But controversial. Virgil Thompson said, folklore subject recounted by an outsider are valid only as long as the folk in question is unable to speak for itself, which is certainly not true of the American Negro in 1935, end quote. However, so very controversial, Duke Ellington was a big fan of Gershwin, and he praised a 1952 version in a telegram to the producer of the show. He said, "Your Porgy and Bess, the super best, singing the gonest, acting the craziest, Gershwin the greatest." So, you know, it's interesting. It's a song that I think we have to look at and think, wow, this is really kind of a timepiece, and there are things about it which are rightfully controversial, definitely. And some of the songs from Porgy and Bess are continue to be standards for Americans. And this song is one that, and Porgy and Bess was a show that was re-recorded by Miles Davis with Gil Evans in an incredible record. If you haven't heard it, you should listen to that. And Pops and Ella Fitzgerald also did a great record of it. So we hope you enjoy, and remember our version of Summertime. Let's see. What's that groove? don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Spread your wings, take to the sky. Until that morning, ain't nobody gonna harm you. With Mama and Daddy standing by. With Mama and Daddy standing by. With Mama and Daddy standing by. Summertime. So great piece of music, recorded by so many people. I love Billie Holiday's version. Go hear an early Billie Holiday version, and on her version they end on a major chord. When the final cadence comes around, every time they end on a major chord, it really changes the feel of the whole song, and I really love it. So speaking of Billie Holiday, we're going to continue with the song that Billie Holiday was credited with writing, and there are not very many of those. So Billie Holiday also grew up around a lot of musical scenes when she was very young, and she started, like many singers, including Louis Armstrong, she started singing on the street and going around to clubs when she was very young. And this is an interesting fact a lot of people don't know, but she had a vinyl record without vocals. They had these back then, based kind of like karaoke. So she would take her record to the bars, and then she would put her, they'd let her put her record on, and she would sing, and that's how she got her start. Believe it or not. It's a song whose sentiment we agree with wholeheartedly, and we'd like to remind ourselves and people that there's still so many children living in poverty, and that can never be right at all. So it would be great if our society and we all looked out a little bit more, so including myself. Right now, we hope you enjoy and remember our version of God Bless the Child. Them that got shall get, them who've not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless the child that's got her own, who's got her own. Well, the rich get more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. Mama may have, and Papa may have. God bless the child who's got her own, who's got her own, who's got her own. Money, and you've got lots of friends. They're crowding round your door. When it's gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. So rich relations give a crust of bread and such. Or you can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless the child who's got her own, who's got her own. spending ends, or they don't come no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can't help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, and Papa may have. God bless the child who's got her own, who's got her own, who's got her own, who's got her own. All right, thank you so much. God bless the child. I hope you're enjoying the music, folks. If you're just joining us here on the Chase Street Regulars Radio Hour, my name is James Zeller, and I'm so excited to have Jennifer Trowbridge joining me again, and so glad that she'll be on my show here from time to time, which is really a thrill for me. So let's see, how about Blue Moon?
All right.
I'd like to dedicate a song right now to my niece and nephew, Manny and E.G. This goes out to you. I say Manny first because he's the littler one, and E.G.'s bigger, so they always come in that order. But E.G., I know you love this tune a lot, so I hope you enjoy our version of Blue Moon. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then suddenly there appeared before me the only one my heart would ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. When I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. When I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon. Now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart. I found the love of my own. Blue. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Blue Moon. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the music, folks. It's certainly been a huge pleasure for me, and it's been really great having Jennifer Trowbridge on the show. And thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to take a quick look and make sure that I haven't missed any requests over here. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad people have been enjoying some of my history. I had other stuff picked out in here, but I kind of lost track. Let's see. I forgot to say something about Louis Armstrong, but Louis Armstrong is a really such an important figure in jazz and just the development of American music. I think if you think about who was the first singer who was really like a pop singer, who sang the melody and stylized it a lot and gave it a lot of character. I really think Louis Armstrong has kind of invented the kind of created the mold for that. But I've been talking a lot about how Ella Fitzgerald got to be in Chick Webb's band from a very young age and was around musicians. Charlie Parker was hanging out where Count Basie's band was playing in Kansas City when he was a little kid. Apparently, he was running around in the bandstand as a little kid when Lester Young was playing solos. And let's see, who else did I talk about? Billie Holiday grew up with tons of music around her. So many people. Louis Armstrong too, and Louis Armstrong wrote tons of great books, tons of autobiographical information, great interviews, great collections of letters. And he wrote this great book that's come out as My Life in New Orleans. And I just love this section. He wrote, at the age of 5, of course, I was not playing trumpet. But there was something about the instrument that caught my ears. When I was in church and when I was second lining, that is, following the brass bands in parades, I started to listen carefully to different instruments, noticing the things they played and how they played them. That is how I learned to distinguish the differences between Buddy Bolden, King Oliver, and Bunk Johnson. Of the three, Bunk Johnson had the most beautiful tone, the best imagination, and the softest sense of phrasing. Today, people think that Bunk taught me to play because our tones are somewhat similar. That is all we have in common. To me, Joe Oliver's tone is just as good as Bunk's, and he had such range and such wonderful creations. So he goes on to say that Bunk Johnson was great, but King Oliver was the king. So I just love that Louis left us with all those records to read. It's really interesting. And to hear how he was watching the parade band and picking out how the different instruments sound it's so important for kids to see music and to see art live, because it brings a lot of joy to one's life. I can attest. I don't really know what I would do without it. So for any of you out there who work with kids in any way, bravo. Right now, and that's Jennifer does. We teach a lot of kids, which is awesome, really awesome. We're gonna play a tune that Louis Armstrong did not record, but it's a pretty silly song that's become a bit of a classic, and it's got a great New Orleans feel. Dr. John had a great hit on it. We like to end the show on an upbeat, fun note with the bare necessities of life. The bare necessities, simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean those bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease. Just the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder. My big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to bring some honey just for me. If you look out for those rocks and plants, well, take a look at them fancy hands, maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life come to you. Bare necessities, simple bare necessities. Get up out your worries and your strife. Oh yeah, those bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just bare necessities of life. Just relax, my backyard. Act like that bee acts. Oh, you're working too hard. Don't waste your time just running around. Oh, looking for something that can't be found. Go on without thinking about it. You can't really live without it. I tell you something true. The bare necessities of life, the bare necessities of life will come to you. That's right, the bare necessities of life. The Malel Dunes, Redwood Park. That's right. The marsh, the Arcata Marsh. Birds, sunrise, warblers, hawks, every kind. Let's see. So many necessities. Fresh food, gardens, farmers, music teachers. Love. How about love? I think love's a necessity, right? Everyone needs a little bit of that. We hope you've been feeling a little bit of love from us tonight. We're sending some out to you folks, so hope you can feel it coming right now through the ether. Some of that necessary love, some of that bare necessary love is coming to you. Straight from us. I tell you something true. The bare necessities of life, the bare necessities of life will come to you. Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is James Zeller, and this is the great Jennifer Trowbridge on the guitar. And I'm going to close the show out with something a little unusual. I have an art piece that I meant to share earlier in the program. Our good friend Joanne is a really amazing person and has created a piece, and we always want to remember on the show to say Black Lives Matter, and also I don't often enough say that I want to recognize that we're on We Out Land here at the sanctuary. And that's a very important thing to remember and to keep in mind, is that there's a lot of history around here and a lot of history in this country. But Joanne has made a piece of art with names on it, and I'd like to share that with you here before we go. And it requires a little bit of a setup, but it'll only take a moment. I really appreciate Joanne making this. The colors are incredibly appropriately flashy. Unfortunately, I don't have a stand, but
Do you want me to hold it from behind?
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move it back here so it has better light. I think it's gonna work.
I can hold it up.
Oh, I want challenge of lighting here. This is a piece that Joanne has had down on the Arcata Plaza, and it's a list of names of people of color who have died at the hands of police, or white supremacists. So on the side it says no mas muertos, and I believe that's Spanish for no more deaths. So thank you, Joanne, for taking the time to make this, and for wheeling it around on a cart. I've seen Joanne around town, and really appreciate this tribute. I'm glad that I can share it on the radio hour. So I'm going to leave that there for a moment. And thank you everyone for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And sending lots of love out to all of you. If anyone's having a hard time, remember there's a lot of people out there struggling, and just hang on and just try to get through it, because things always get better when things are bad. So everyone take good care.